Mark chapter 11. The troubled and tired. Verse 1. As they appear in Jerusalem and come to Bethphage and Bethany at the mountains of Olives, Jesus sent two of his disciples, verse 2, saying to them, go to the village ahead of you, and just as you enter it, you will find a colt tied here, which no one has ever wrapped it. Untie it and bring it here. Verse 3. If anyone asks you, why are you doing this? Tell him, the Lord needs it, and will send it back here shortly. Verse 4. They went and found a colt outside in the street, tied at a doorway. As they untied it, verse 5, some people standing here asking, what are you doing untying that colt? Verse 6, they answer as Jesus has told them to, and the people let him go. Verse 7, when they brought the colt to Jesus, threw their clothes over it. He sat on it. Verse 8, many people spanned the clothes on the road, when others had branches they had sat in the field. Verse 9, those who went ahead and those who followed shouted, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Verse 10, blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest. Verse 11, Jesus entered Jerusalem and went to the temple. He looked around at everything but sin. It was already late. He went out to Bethany with the disciple. Jesus cleanses the temple. Verse 12, the next day, as they went, leaving Bethany, Jesus was angry. Verse 30, seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaf, because it was not the season for fruit. Verse 40, then he said to the tree, may no one ever eat fruit for you again. And his disciples hear him say it. Verse 15, on reaching Jerusalem, Jesus entered the temple area and began driving out those who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changer and the branch of those selling drugs. Verse 16, and would not allow anyone to carry merchandise to the temple courts. Verse 17, and as he taught them, he said, it is not written, my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have make it a den of robots. Verse 18. The chief priests and the teachers of the law heard this and began looking for a way to kill him, for they felt that him because the world crowd was amazed at his teaching. Verse 19. When evening came, they went out of the city. The withered fig tree. Verse 20. In the morning, as they went along, they saw the fruit tree wither from the road. When they went, Peter remembered and said to Jesus, Rabbi, look, the fruit tree you cast was withered. Verse 23. Have faith in God. Jesus answered. Verse 23. I tell you the truth. If anyone say to this mountain, so to yourselves into the sea, and does doubt in his heart, but believe it, will he say will happen. It will be done for you. Verse 24. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours. Verse 25. And when you stand praying, if hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heavens may forgive you your sin. The authority of Jesus questioned. Verse 27, they arise again in Jerusalem, and when Jesus was walking in the temple, caused the chief priests, the teacher of the law, and the elder come to him. Verse 28, by what authority are you doing those things? They asked, and who gives you authority to do this? Verse 29, Jesus replied, I will ask you one question. Answer me, and I will tell you by what authority I am doing the thing. Verse 3, John the Baptist, what is for heaven or for man? Tell me. Verse 31, they discussed it among themselves and say, if we say for heaven, he will ask, then why did not you believe him? Verse 32, but if we say for man, they felt the people, for everyone's all that John Leary was proud. Verse 33, so they answered Jesus, we don't know. Jesus said, neither we I'll tell you by which authority I am doing those things. Mark chapter 11, verse 1. Patient wait. At this point in the Gospel of Mark of Gospel of Mark, the events of the Persian week began, chapter 11 to 15, following by the accounts of the resurrection, chapter 16. Mark chapter 11, verse 9. Blessed is he who comes. The crowd believed that the Messiah will restore Israel nationally and rule the nation politically. They failed to understand the purpose that Jesus expanded regretting his coming to the world. Later, the crowds shout, "Crucify him." When they see he is not the Messiah, they win. Chapter 15, verse 13. Mark chapter 11, verse 15. Jesus entered the temple area, Christ driving out those who was buying and selling. In the temple saw he yelled for true holiness and prayed among those who claimed to worship God. Luke chapter 19, verse 45. Mark chapter 11, verse 17. The house of prayer. Jesus made clear that God's house was meant to be a house of prayer, the place which God's people could meet with Him in spiritual devotion, prayer, and worship. Luke chapter 19, verse 45. It might not be perfect by making it a means for social ad- advancement, monetary gain, enter- entertainment, or showmanship. With whenever God's house is so used by worldly minded people, it once again because become a dance of puppets. Mark chapter 11, verse 24. Believe will be your. Believing that receive is not something humanly produced. Later, it is a believing faith imparted to the believer heart by God Himself. Chapter 9, verse 23. Sometimes the fulfillment this true faith desire is granted immediately at other time. It is not just God's gift of faith that the prayer has been healed and the request will be granted. The uncircumcised connect concerns the terms of fulfillment, not the grantings of the request. Mark chapter 17, verse 20, chapter 21, verse 21. Mark chapter 11, verse 25. When you stand praying, forgive, let no Christians doers themselves that they have faith sufficient for answered prayer if they secretly hold animosity or bitterness in their hearts again, anyone. Matthew chapter 18, verse 35.